Vehicular Crimes Division. Just after 1 a.m., we were called out to the scene at Alameda and West Orem at the intersection where a 5-vehicle crash had occurred. Our first preliminary investigation showed that we had a gray Chrysler which was headed southbound on Alameda and did not have any headlights on. That vehicle ran the light. At the same time, we had a Buick that was a white Buick that was headed eastbound on West Orem, attempting to go through a green light and was struck, T-boned. That caused a chain reaction and sent the Buick into 3 other vehicles that were sitting at the light waiting to head northbound on Alameda Road. One of the occupants of the Buick was ejected and 2 were pronounced deceased on scene. So out of 1 vehicle, we have now 3 deceased. The third person who was ejected was sent to a local hospital via HFD and arrived on scene and then was pronounced deceased by the ER doctor. The driver of the gray Chrysler, who we thought might be impaired, was transported to a local hospital and is still in critical condition.
Any word on charges the driver may be facing with the Chrysler?
Yeah, so we've upgraded the charges. We knew the driver was impaired after we started our investigation, and now he will be charged with intox manslaughter.
What was the original charge?
DWI. So it's important to keep the streets of Houston safe. We ask this day and time, there's plenty of ride shares that are available. So please make sure if you think that you're going to go out and party, that you make sure that you have a safe ride home to keep the citizens on our streets safe.
Sergeant, if you could tell us why the charges were upgraded. Were y'all able to do a test on him, or how did the charges go?
Yes, we were able to find out from the hospital what he was impaired with and his blood alcohol level, and then we were also able to prove here at scene by the light sequence that he did run that light and by the witnesses' statements. And so at that time, the DA did make the scene here and agreed to upgrade those charges.
So the suspect driver was drinking and driving?
Yes, ma'am. That is correct.
Do we know his alcohol level at all? Is that shared?
At that time, we're not going to share his, just for investigations reasons, we're not going to share it, but it was definitely over the legal limit.
Was this driver, did he have his lights on? From my understanding, he did not.
That's correct. There was no lights on, and we were able to pull surveillance videos from a local gas station at the corner, and we could prove that he did not have his lights on when he went through the intersection.
How heartbreaking is this scene?
This is a pretty horrific scene. You have 2 that were here on scene that were deceased, and then not only did we lose the female at the hospital after arrival, but his condition is still very critical at this time also. So this could turn into a quadruple fatality, and it's really sad.
So the chance of the driver surviving is quite slim right now?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Could you tell us more about the victims? You said 1 person was ejected?
We have 1 female that was ejected, and she was still alive on scene. That's why she was transported to a local hospital. Unfortunately, the passenger and the driver of that white Buick were pronounced on scene.
Were they family? Do we know anything about
We
the
don't-
relationship?
We don't. We only have the identity of one of the males in the vehicle right now, and we will have to wait for the medical examiner to process the other 2.
So no ages or anything like that?
Not at this time.
So female ejected, and then you said passenger and driver were males, or?
Both of them were males, and they were pronounced here by HFD.
You said that the district attorney's office is here. Who all is investigating?
So the Houston Police Vehicular Crimes Division came out, Crash Line investigated this. We also had help from the BATS DA that came out, and we also had one of their investigators here. And then our DWI task force, DRE, made the hospital scene and also the scene to help us investigate. So,
last question for you is, I know you briefly had a message, but what would you like to share with the community when it comes to drinking and driving?
it's very important that you make the decisions before you even go out and drink to make sure you have a safe ride. Make sure that you talk to one of your friends and or make sure you prepare to have somebody pick you up.